Sup, Lexi, I'm my Crusty World. This is a episode 2 of the horror review. I am dividing my movie reviews and my horror movie reviews. I'm separating them so that the big horror movie fans don't have to comb through my regular movie reviews to get the horror movie reviews. So today's episode of the horror review is an awesome movie. I was very pleasantly surprised. I'd never even heard of it, didn't know shit about it. I don't even think I recognized anybody in it. Don't know when it came out. No, like this year or just last year. Just came out last year. This movie is awesome. It revives a lot of old techniques that you have not seen in movies in a long time, and especially in special effects. It's a horror movie special effects um, extravaganza. Boop. It's called Stop Motion. It is about a young woman that's a stop motion animation technician for, I believe it's her mother, um, that or some other woman. I think it's her mother. I watched it 2, maybe 3 times, so I kind of caught most of it. It's not too weird. I mean, well, yeah, it's super weird. It's not too hard to follow, but I caught most of it. Some of it's just like I still wasn't catching it by like the third time, but I mean that's just the nature of it. But some of it's kind of. But anyway, yeah, it's really good. Um, like I said, it's about a young woman that's a stop motion animation technician for stop motion animation films. If you don't know what stop motion animation is, please look it up. Basically, if you know what claymation is, that's a form of stop motion animation. But I mean, if you've ever done stop motion animation, it's fun. It's tedious to do. I did some short stop motion animation experiments when I was like really young, with like the camcorder, and you like pause it, record, pause it, record, pause, and you slowly like each frame you move an object, a centimeter, quarter inch or less, and when it plays back, it moves. It's like each frame is slightly moved. And if you ever watch like Christmas specials or like California Raisins or something like that, and there's other forms of stop motion animation too. Um, but it's about that, and so it's really cool to see a modern horror movie that's not like, or any movie in general that's not just like fucking CGI through the whole thing. Like, oh, everything's computer graphics, and here's the thing with computer graphics in movies is like one of the secrets of cinema, the awesome things about cinema and film is that it's an illusion. And a lot of times you have no idea how they did that. Like when you see something on film, you don't know how it was done. Um, but with modern movies, with modern sci-fi movies, modern comic book movies, like how everything's done. There's no mystery to, whoa, how'd they do that shot? It's just all fucking CGI. There's no mystery. It's all a fucking computer. It's like a cartoon on a screen, but it looks like more realistic. So it's like the mystery is lost. There's no awe. There's no wonder. There's no, oh, that must have taken a long time to animate that and create those models and create that gore and create different contraptions to do the blood splat or the movement or the background. No, it's all fucking CGI. This movie is not all fucking CGI. I don't know if they used any CGI or like computer graphics or effects in this whole movie. I mean, they probably did to like filter it and edit it, and there might have been some kind of trippy scenes in like a nightclub when she like takes some drugs, some acid or some Molly or some shit. But it's super dark. It's super weird. It's super creepy. Um, Basically, it follows this young woman's journey, and it's one of those movies where um, it's a very quiet film. It's very quiet, you know. A lot of movies have sound effects, background sound effects, music, tones, and eerie sounds, and a lot of dialogue and a lot of things going on around. This movie is like a lot of silence where it's just quiet and it moves and you might hear something. It's like that. It's like super quiet. It's I don't want to say it's slow moving. It's not really slow, like, a movie where it moves so slow and then nothing happens until like three quarters or most of the way through, and then you find out what's happening and it climaxes. It's not like that. It's slow across the board, but there's enough interesting, unique, different types of things happening where each scene, each sequence has something visually stimulating, something weird that happens, some weird things that people say, talking, the background, it climaxes, and then there's weirdness, and it just slowly builds and builds and builds and builds, and it's really good. I liked it a lot, and fuck, dude, this guy apparently likes to be in my videos. Yeah. But so it's a very, very quiet, slow-paced movie but it evenly goes. It's not like boring and tedious, and you have to get through it before. No, it keeps you engaged. Like each scene, each sequence shows you one little bit and piece that's more interesting or more bizarre or more fucked up. Stylistically, I would as far as like prominent, mainstream directors or known directors, I would compare it to maybe like David Cronenberg or a little bit David Lynch-esque. By the way, rest in peace to Lynch. He died recently of cancer, and he was pretty much my all-time favorite film director. So, rest in peace, David Lynch. But it was a little bit like this. Was in that style. There's a movie that came out, I don't know, 5 or 10 years ago. Well, probably 6 to 10 years ago. That I don't remember who the director was, but that movie was described as a cross between David Cronenberg and David Lynch. And the movie is called Starry Eyes. And this movie was kind of like in that niche of Starry Eyes. So, which I obviously recommend. So this movie is very weird. It's of course like, it's like the levels of reality or different levels of reality get more and more blurred. And you're like, what's going on? Is this a dream? Is this real? Is this transformation? Is this a vision? Is this the future or past? Um, and it's visually like the animated characters and the stop motion animated characters are really, they're not too weird or creepy starting out, but they gradually get more and more grotesque and bizarre and like more and more, yeah, more and more grotesque, more and more bizarre, more and more creepy, and some of them almost get like more and more human or less human. And there's a shower sequence where the young woman is in the shower, and something that she does is just like I've never seen it on film in my life. Something that happens, and it's like just disgustingly, grotesquely disturbing. And I guarantee you've never seen it on film either. Um, it's nothing like that humans actually go through in reality, but it's something that happens. And I'm like, It's skin crawlingly disgusting and weird stuff. Like it gives you the creeps. It makes your stomach turn. It gives you the willies. It's like just nasty feelings watching a movie. If you're sensitive to gore, which you probably are not if you're going to start watching the horror review with Lexi, then I would not advocate the movie. Like if you like scary movies or horror movies, but not too much gore and grotesqueness, I would steer clear of this. But it's really good. It slowly builds. It's even paced. There wasn't anything that I found appalling for a horror movie or that was any cliche. It was very original, very innovative. Uh, I like the style of directing, and I would greatly recommend it. It does, it gets deeper and deeper and deeper into bizarro world, like a David Lynch or David Cronenberg um, type film. And there's just some things are kind of unexplained, or I didn't catch them. Like there's this little girl that suddenly appears to her, and I'm not sure if the little girl is real or not, or if it's her daughter, or some like this little girl just randomly appears. Is it her from the past? Is it a figment of her imagination? I didn't catch that in the movie. I don't know what it was. I can't explain it. I don't know. It's weird. It's creepy. And there's like I said, there's a scene where she's in a nightclub and she takes a substance. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but it's some interesting visuals there. Uh, and I just you can't really explain it. I mean, it's stop motion animation, so it's very original. Not a computer graphic crap fest. It's not a slasher flick. It's not something you can just put on while you're making dinner and cleaning your house. You have to like sit and watch it and get through it. But it keeps you engaged and it's not too slow. It's not too boring. And it's definitely one of the best horror movies I've seen in years. Like this was better than the last movie I reviewed, The Black Phone. So yeah, I would highly recommend this stop motion, and it's really good. All right, like, subscribe, hit that bell, leave a comment, and share with friends. And drop money in my Cash App if you want to. All right, peace.